All right, everybody, here we go on another mission, another day. It's going to be a quick one tonight, and there we go. Figured I'd give y'all some face cam tonight because we on the Can't Stop Won't Stop. Welcome back, everybody, to another stream on the Dre Sanchez YouTube channel. It's been a hot minute since I've been on cam, but I finally got my setup working again with the internet, so hopefully we have a good stream. So we're just gonna do a quick one tonight, man. We're going from Albuquerque to Phoenix, and it's a whole big story why we didn't fly on VATSIM today, but nonetheless we didn't, and I wanted to. Hi Love, how are you doing, sweetheart? Of course, my #1 fan, love of my life, is in the house. Got to show some respect, some love. So anyway, I was gonna do this whole stream on VATSIM earlier, but the day got away from me. I got to go to work tomorrow, my business partner. So that being said, this is going to be a super quick hop from Albuquerque on over to Phoenix. We're on PilotEdge. VATSIM stuff just quieted down. There was 2 major events today, flying the Arctic, and then they did the O'Hare thing, which is all done. I missed everything, so let's just get this one in. Hopefully the upcoming FNO, we get to it in time. Permitted, but nonetheless we're gonna do this one tonight. So without, as you guys know, I always say it, further ado, let's go ahead and jump on board here. You can see we are all cold and dark, so let's change that, and let's come up top here, of course, and let's get our electric power on. All right, GPU's available. Don't worry, we're extinguishing that sound here in a second. All right. Let's see here. It's been a minute. Let's get rid of that noise. It's getting annoying already. All right, back up top we go. And let's see here. First things first. This is one thing that I always forget. So let's turn these bad boys on. And thank you, honey. Wife's giving me a thumbs up. Said the sound is copacetic, so that's good. And I'm actually looking for the emergency lights. I don't know why I can't find them. They're not here. It's been a hot minute since I've been in this. Anyway, we'll find them as needed. They might already be on. It might not even be an issue with this one. So we got that on top. We'll get the seat belts and all that stuff going here in a minute. But other than that, let's come down here and jump and make sure everything is looking good. Let's see if I can get these armrests up. They will cause a problem. Let's see, parking brake is up, so everything looks good. So let's go ahead and start initializing this aircraft, of course. Before we do that, let me pull up my trusty flight plan. All right. So it's about a 55-minute flight, and really not a whole lot to belabor. So let's go ahead and get right into the MCDU index and start getting ready to contact ATC. First of all, we're going to check the ATIS freak. All right, ATIS here is just simply 118. Let's switch that up. This is kind of how I do my radio checks as well. See here. All right, let's get the music shut down really quick.
Few clouds at 8,000, 14,000 scattered. Temperature 22, dew point 16. Altimeter 3017.
Turn this up a little bit here.
Arriving and departing runway 3.
All right, there we go. Hopefully everybody can hear that.
Visual approaches and use FR departures.
So 812.
Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information uniform.
So it's uniform.
Albuquerque International Airport.
Let's get the temperature.
Uniform. 0252 Zulu. Wind 090 at 15. Gust 23. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 8,000. 14,000 scattered. Temperature 22. Dew point 16. Altimeter 3017. Arriving and departing runways 3, 8, 12. Visual approaches and use VFR departures contact during
Okay, I'm gonna
delivery.
gather that we're
Advise
gonna.
on course
All right,
heading,
so that
altitude,
works.
and if flight following is required.
I'm gonna gather that we're gonna take runway 8 based off of the current location, and let's just share that with you guys. Let me check the chat here. Let me be responsible, just to make sure I'm not missing anybody who's joined in the stream. So far, so good. So let's go ahead and share this up here. So as you can see, the reason why I'm anticipating this runway 8 because it's right here. So the terminal, we just need to push straight back, which I haven't done the better pushback yet, but so that's going to be super simple. And then I believe we're leaving on the Largo 3 departure. So let's take a peek at this really quick, super simple. If we initial climb, all aircraft climb on assigned heading for radar vectors to filed assigned route, expect clearance to filed altitude, flight level 5 minutes after departure. As you can see, this departure doesn't even have, it's mainly just obstacles here. It doesn't even have a top altitude for it, as you can see, and it's pretty much straight out. And I believe we're coming right here to Zuni, so we'll be right here on this Victor 12, heading on over to Zuni once we depart. But of course, we're going to get the vectors from the ATC and the altitude, so that kind of makes it fun. Is they just give you easy street. So that's kind of what we're doing right now, folks. So let's go ahead and let's just anticipate, so we don't even have to talk. So when we start talking ATC, we can just get out of here. Let's just anticipate it being what we said it was. Okay, so now what we're going to do is start punching in our information here to get out of here. So we said we're going to choose runway 8, and the standard instrument departure is the Largo 3. You know what, we may have to change that because it looks like the Largo 3 isn't available for runway 8 for whatever reason, which doesn't make any sense to me. Let's see, next, there's no next page, so that's highly peculiar. Let's go back to departure. Let's select a different runway. Let's select the opposite of that, which I believe is 26. Let me check that out here, just to make sure we're on the right avenue. Okay, yeah, so it's 26. Let's try 26. There was another route that I was seeing, and let's go to the SIDS. Let's see, the Largo's still not in here, and you know what? Perhaps let's go back to runway 8, and here's the reason why it might not be in here. There's really nothing for it to be in there for. If you think about it, we're going to follow everything that ATC says, and then we could just put in our first waypoint, because essentially that's it. So select SID. None of these. And there is no transition, so we're just going to leave it like that. Hopefully this works. Hopefully this aircraft is... Well, there are some airports that don't even have a SID, so it should work. So let's just go ahead and start adding the route waypoints. The first one is actually not going to be a fix. It's actually going to be... Let's see... the Zoom, basically. So that's a VOR. So what we want to do is come here and type in VOR here. And that's going to be Zoom. And as you would have it, there are not many people on, probably because of the weekend, there are not many people on PilotEdge at all. Okay, requires 2 entries. So, because it requires 2 entries, let me look at the next waypoint on our arrival. This is where it's going to get tricky here. So the next waypoint on our arrival into the Phoenix area, let's see, open the charts here, and we're arriving, what was that, the Eagle? Yeah, Eagle 6. Okay, so if we're arriving on the Eagle 6, we just simply need to find another point on there. So coming from Zune, the next waypoint is Dojo. It's spelled a little different than a karate dojo because they added an E. But the next one is going to be Dojo. So let's put that fix in. and see if it satisfies it. So we're going to go back to fix and type in dojo, of course. Well, it's been quite a day, quite a busy day. Dojo, save. All right, now we can go to the MCDU index and we can go into the arrival. Of course, we'll be arriving in the wonderful Phoenix. And select runway. That's going to be an interesting one. I'd like to think it's going to be 26, but probably it won't be, but we'll get past that. Let's see. Next. Okay, Eagle 6 Zoom. That's what we want. Boom. And our transition, I guess, will be Zerlo. And the approach is, of course, is going to be the ILS. Of course, this might change, folks. So this is definitely not religion in terms of the flight plan, because then we're going to do our calls and we're going to get actually what it is. So now that we have that all programmed in there, now we just go ahead and come over here to perf, of course, and current trim required 4.0 up. Okay, no problem there. Let's just go ahead and do that now. 4.0 up. Oh, this is going to change to 3.5. We're going to take off flaps 2, of course. And payload, fuel left. You know what? I might need to even go in here and change the fuel. I had a different, like I said, I was planning to fly. See, we need 8921 for this route, which is significantly different than what I had in here anyway. So let's go ahead and modify that right now. I think I did the wrong one. Need to go to the airplane, man. All right, here we go. All right, so previous flight required more fuel. We only need to go to 8,900 pounds, which we can just round up to 9,000 basically, if we can get that number. You guys know how that X-plane fuel situation is. The slider is very touchy. Okay, 9106. Double check that. Okay, got a little bit of glare here. Go ahead and apply those changes. And there's the fuel. So let's switch flaps 4. Okay, flaps 2 is going to be the same thing. Here's our speeds right here. Now, of course, we still need to put in our cruising altitude. So this is what we're going to do it right here. So we're going to be cruising today at flight level 320, 32,000 feet. And boom, there we go. So now we still need to come back and initialize the actual flight plan, which we haven't done. You got to go to progress in here. And we're going to hit execute. You see that change right there? Now we go to the flight plan and let's just check and see what it is. ABQ Zun, Dojo, Zune. So you see these two right here are going to be tricky. So I can't delete them, but they are redundant. So we'll have to know that. If the aircraft turns back around and go to Dojo, we'll know what's going on. So once we get to Zun, we need to actually just come here direct to this one, and then the flight plan will follow accordingly. So we, hopefully this works out for us. But as far as I'm concerned, this part is done right here. And we can come back over here to the MCDU index, and we're going to use this to type in the stuff that we need for our departure, which is going to be nice. Nice and easy street. But in the meantime, we got to come back over here to the radio page, and we must get our frequencies on point so we can get up out of here, guys, because I got to get up early in the morning, man. So now I need to get back to the Albuquerque charts. All right, back to the Albuquerque charts, of course, and we already had ATIS, which we'll have to check again, and clearance is 19.2. So let's get that punched in there, and let me come check on you guys really quick, just in case there's somebody here. Don't want to be remiss. All right, Greenlight, what's good, bro? How you doing? Like the face cam, appreciate you, Greenlight. You always support. Thanks for checking it out. So we're doing a quick one tonight. It was actually supposed to be longer, but I got a contract in the morning, so the man who works for himself doesn't make any money if he doesn't go to work. So Got to go to work tomorrow, make that bread, so this is going to be a super short one.
624 Juliet, Albuquerque Center.
Apparently we got the right frequency. So let's also plan for our next frequency, which is going to be ground. And ground frequency is 1219. It's funny, it's a bigger chart that I have down here. So on the Navigraph, it turns it sideways. So you got to do like that gangster lean just to look at the frequencies and the chart for that matter. All right, so there we go. I think we're ready to go. You know what? Yes, I did. I did put in the right flight plan. Let me just go ahead and double check. Because like I said, I had a different flight plan. It'll be able to tell it by my call sign, which is Envoy 318. So this is the regional airliner. Earlier, I was going to fly from Pittsburgh to O'Hare. I was going to fly Republic, but switch it over to Envoy. Still same aircraft, just different regional airline. Anyway, let's go ahead and do this. Albuquerque clearance, Envoy 318. Looking for IFR to Phoenix. Let's get our trusty pad ready. I know this controller, and she usually takes a hot minute to respond. So we will see if she, in fact, responds. She should. Pull up my flight plan so I know what to reference. And we'll just give her a minute.
Q4 Juliet across paint at and maintain 10,000.
Okay, that all looks good. I was just making sure my microphone was on the right one. And it's on, so we'll have to give her a shout again if she doesn't respond. Which sometimes actually it's a little frustrating because, you know, you want to make sure that you're all connected. Let's see here. Looks like Bohemian. Looks like Dre 242. Which one would you prefer, the 170 or the 175 LR? Probably the 175 LR. And by the way, thanks for joining the stream. I like them both, though, to be honest with you. But the
318 Albuquerque clearance.
Stand by.
Forward clearance here. Clear to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. Roadrunner 3 departures. Any transition. Eagle 6 arrival. Columbia Sid. Expect flight level 3201 0 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 124.7. Squawk 3151.
All right, so now I'm going to make her wait for a second so I can, because we definitely got a different, okay. Okay, Envoy 318 is cleared to Phoenix via the Roadrunner 3, Zune, then the Eagle 6. Flying via SID, expect flight level 32010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 24.7, squawking 3151, Envoy 318.
Envoy 318, read back correct. Expect runway 8 for departure.
Expect an 8 for departure. Appreciate it, Envoy 318. All right, guys.
Envoy 318, confirm the frequency. You said 124.7?
Roger that. 124.7 for Envoy 318.
Correction, I got my numbers backwards. That's 127.4.
No worries. It is Labor Day weekend. That is allowed. 127.4 for our departure frequency. Thanks a lot for clarifying that, Envoy 318.
No problem.
All right. So, everybody's human. That's all I'm saying. Everybody is human, so got to give them a chance. All right, guys. So, just a little administrative note here. I've been rusty streaming, so guys, bear with me. I haven't streamed in, especially with my face on the cam. I've been doing a lot of different setups, a lot of different things going on in my life. So, bear with me. And my wife's over here making faces be in the background. Okay, guys. So I don't know if you were checking it out earlier. We definitely we're trying to figure out our departure, and it was a different SID that we were going to use, which was actually the Largo 3, but apparently that is not copacetic. So now we're going to have to make these changes here. So we selected the transition. So now what we need to do is go back into the progress page here, and then we need to re-execute. Flight plan not initialized. Okay. So ABQ, departure, 250. Let's see. So, I wonder... I don't think... It says flight plan not initialized. So let's do that again. Okay, now let's execute that. And, okay, there we go. So we got it in, guys. We still have the issue of having these 2 points here, which hopefully I remember, that are redundant in here because the aircraft requires some type of... this aircraft requires that you have 2 points in there in order to depart on it. So I'm going to pull up this...
Number 64, Juliet, say altitude.
Roadrunner departure. Here we go. So let's read the narrative here. So now climb heading 79 of 5860 direct to Tyler, then left, turn direct, blah blah blah, at above 10,000, top altitudes, flight level 200. The reason I was saying blah blah blah, the aircraft already has that in here. If you look here,
thank you.
Up to 5860, then we'll be turning direct to Tyler on. So the one thing that we do need to put in there is our flight level. So let's me remember what all of my settings are here. Let's see here. Okay, that's the back. That's that view. That's that view. Pretty nice aircraft. Nice textures they used on this aircraft. So I'm just going over my views right now, so you have to bear with me. Okay, that's the first officer. All right, let me look and see what I got here. That's up.
Unable to find view ID.
Okay,
12.
so apparently I don't have the one that I thought I had. That's all right. We'll just do it this way. I usually, to be honest with you, do a different view just because I use track IR with the head shake. So sometimes if it's super bumpy, which while we're in there we might fix this up. Okay, we need to get down. It's usually super bumpy. There we go. Sorry guys. It's usually super bumpy, so what happens is it's all bumping around and I'm trying to hit the controls and trying to manipulate the glare shield and it won't do it. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, I believe we're good there. It should be on FMS. Let's check the first officer side. Okay, let's click it one more time. Alright, now we knew the ATIS was gave us 3017, but we're gonna have to listen to it again because it was a few minutes ago we listened to it. So let's listen to that.
ATIS information uniform 0252 Zulu.
Let's lock that cockpit door.
090 at 15.
If it's uniform, I'll cut it off.
Visibility 10. Few clouds at 8,000. 4,000 scattered. Temperature 22. 2.16. Altimeter 3017. Arriving and departing runways 3812.
Pretty sure it's still uniform, but we gotta check.
VFR departures contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information uniform.
Okay, uniform is current, so I didn't make a liar out of myself, of course. Alright, so let's just continue getting this ready. So we just put our squawk code in there of 3151. Our departure frequency's 1274. Now that that's all been squared away, so what I usually do, if anybody's watched my streams before, I'm going to plug it in right over here just in case, but we'll leave it on the ATIS. And as we push back, we'll listen to that ATIS one more time just to make sure the hour hasn't changed. 27.4, all right, 19.2 was departure, so now we can get it on ground, so we no longer need to talk to them. And of course, I need to come back over here now, and bada bing, bada boom, I need to get that tower frequency in there. So here we go, my gangster lean to the side. 120.3 is the departure. 120.3, boom, boom. Or not departure, rather, but the tower. So we got ground, tower, ATIS, departure. We have our squawk code of 3151 in. We've already set our departure for the Roadrunner 2 to flight level 200, which is the top altitude. We've already set our MCDU index up, so there's not a whole lot here to belabor. Now, one thing that we will do is we're going to use, actually let's come back over here, we're going to use the autopilot feature. And I initially like our initial climb to be about 2,200 feet. So we're just going to click that in there for our vertical speed, target altitude, and if you guys remember the departure heading for the Roadrunner is, drum roll, wait for it, 79. So we're just going to put that in even though the aircraft is going to do what it needs to do. So that we have all this set up and our target speed, of course, we're going to be right at 200. Just to start with, let's look at our flaps 2. Flaps 2 is at 215, so that gives like a 15 nautical mile buffer. And so far we're looking good. We got on the FMS. Let's go ahead and get those flight directors on. Okay, we've got the flight director on, and we are also going to put it in the nav mode. And what that's going to do is going to lead us there. You now you can see it goes that the flight path, you know, I guess marker, the crosshairs here. It's now going to indicate us following lateral navigation, and as you see, 2,200 feet per minute. So that when I hit the autopilot, we will definitely be able to make all that happen seamlessly. And of course, before we take off, we just need to do our auto throttles and get the time going here, which in this aircraft, it's over here. So you guys definitely got to remind me to hit the chronometer way over here. Fuel pressure low, of course it is. So let's go ahead and get that APU on.
Sky 2697 Juliet, NorCal approach, the monorail altimeter 2906, and information Victor is current. Are you running Victor or Zulu?
Alright, while the APU is coming up, let's go ahead and get this to the navigation mode.
Juliet, Roger, if you're running information Victor and not custom weather, the field is IFR. Remain outside the Class Charlie airspace.
Okay. Let's go over here to the options, and we definitely need to get all of this madness off of. We'll leave weather and TCAS on, it's just fine. Boom, boom, boom.
2697 Juliet, sure, you're clear to the Monterey
So
Airport.
now we can go back and forth between the map mode and the plan mode. So now we're back plan mode.
Maintain 6,500. I'll lower for you in just a bit.
So this should be what we need. So you can see here, we come up to 5860 here at Tiller, and we take our right turn on out of there. So that's looking good. Yeah, this is actually the mode that we needed in, if I'm being real. Okay, let me check the chat here really quick. Again, trying to be a good steward here. Let's see here. Have you played Infinite Flight before? No, I haven't at all, Bohemian. Not at all. I have not done Infinite Flight at all. What is that? Let me know what that is. Sounds like something's interesting. I think I've heard of it before. I've never played it. All right, so the APU's up and running. So let's definitely go up top and turn our fuel pumps on now. This is in use. Now we can get that off. Now we're running on the APU, of course, and boy, I just can't remember. Let's get this on the APU bleed. I never can remember if this thing needs to be on APU bleed or not, so we'll figure it out when we go to start the engines. All right, guys, let's get our pushback situated and let's get out of here. All right, better pushback. Hopefully it's working right today. Of course it's not. Better pushback. Like I said, I reloaded it before. It's been glitching here and there, so probably going to be sliding now. That's all right. We'll make it work like this. You know, some days it acts right. Some days it doesn't act right. Oh, I guess this is one of those days. Let's come back here. So since there's a building, that's a super easy pushback. All right, I'm happy with that.
Round to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
All right, has a lot of major airlines. It's a mobile global flight simulator. So I'm assuming, Bohemian, that must be, you know, I could download it from the Apple Play Store or the, I don't even know what they call it, the Apple Store. I got an iPhone, so I'm assuming that's what it's called. I'm Might have to check that out. Let's get our hydraulic pumps on. And now we need to go ahead and get the announcements going. And of course, let us get our red beacon on. Let's come down here and just verify all of our doors are closed. You guys are going to help me out with that, of course. We're going to check our systems. Status. Okay, we got a green there, so all doors are closed. You guys can see here too. Everything's looking good. These are the batteries here. So now let's get it in the flight controls page so I don't forget. So we can do our flight controls check and we can get out of here, guys.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Alright, tow is driving up. So now, because I don't have a first officer, I got to stay ahead of the aircraft. We're going to go ahead and let's see here. Turn our transponder on. I always got to remember stuff is that when I fly different aircraft. The transponder is actually down here. Now, in the X-Craft's ERJ 145, the transponder is on page 3 of the radio page. So there's 1, 2, 3. I believe it's on page 3. This one doesn't have a page 3, obviously. This is your ADFs, which we don't use those directional finders at all. But either way, and it's funny. This is actually reporting this is ERJ 175, but on PilotEdge it reports itself as ERJ 170, so go figure. And Bohemian says, yep, so I must have hit a nail on the head. Let's go outside and take a look and see what's popping.
Sir, I don't make that determination for you.
Roger.
All right, you can still see it moving there.
2697 Juliet, going to maintain 4,000.
See this guy at work.
4,970.
See that? The aircraft's lifting up. My wife thought that some of these aircrafts just push back by themselves, which some can, but it actually lifts up in here. All right, that's enough of that, guys. Let's go ahead and release that parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
I forget that this aircraft actually is redundant on there. On those sides, let's go in the back.
Please pay attention as the following demonstrates the safety features of this Embraer.
You guys pay attention. They're doing the safety features, and I don't want to hear anything in case we have a water
You
landing.
must fasten your seatbelt. Insert the
I'm
flat
just
tip into the
serious.
button and pull the loose end of
Alright
the
guys,
plastic
so we're
pipe.
pushing back. I do like the cabin in this aircraft. I think they did a fine job with it. So without further ado, I owe you guys some cams. I had got another cam for my rudder, but that cam seems to be non-functional. It's functional, but it crashes OBS, so that's why I say it's non-functional. Okay, so we're departing flaps 2. Again, we have our MCP all set up. We've got our flight directors ready to go. You can see the wind pushing the elevators in the back. Look, I'm not even doing anything, it's moving. See that? Once we start the aircraft and the hydraulics come on, it shouldn't be an issue. Alright, let me take a look at it.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alright, parking brake is set. Let me just take a look here at the airport info. Alright, essentially our taxi is probably going to be Alpha 1. So, let's get it, guys.
090 center, final approach course.
090 to the ILS 30, center 64 Juliet.
Get rid of that.
TPM 64 Juliet, going to maintain 7,000.
Now the funny thing is you got to hold this. I definitely do not like how they did this part.
907 Juliet, turn right heading 010.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on
Man,
the
I always struggle with that. Let me see if I got a different view to start this engine. Okay, what we're gonna do is just borrow this view and do it this way. All right, so you gotta hold it. Apparently in my track IR position, that's not gonna work.
You will find this and all the other safety information in the card located in the seat pocket and
All right, as you can see, she's up and running.
If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask one of our crew members. We wish you all an enjoyable trip.
All right, let's go back here. Close that hatch and get the second engine on. Now there was that bleed I was talking about, so let's so if there was a pet peeve I had of this thing, let's see, why is this ignition off? All right, let's hold that for a second. All right. Now you can see that's coming up, so we just need to make sure this N1 comes up.
Or 2697
So
Juliet, turn
N1
right
is
heading
rising.
070.
Let's get our brake to RTO. Let me check the chat. Be responsible here. Let me be a responsible streamer, man. It's been a long day, guys. All right, it says if you can, let's see, if you are doing a long haul flight, you can play the game on your iPhone. Good to know, Bohemian. Appreciate you. I'm gonna have to download it. I got plenty of room on my my iPhone. I'll have to check it out one of these days. Okay, the engine is definitely on, which means both engines are on, which means we can go ahead and get rid of this APU, and we can get this to both, since apparently that's what we needed. We can go ahead and get our windshield on, our ice protection. Let's see here. I hear a lot of clicking down here. I'm making sure everything's copacetic. Something didn't sound right. Even though this aircraft is enjoyable to fly, like I said, there are a few things that is quirky. So we got our bleeds and our packs on. We got our windshield and our ice protection on. Let's see. Fuel pump hydraulics are on. These are our fuel pumps. The APU is extinguished. Batteries are on. Seat belts are on. We're looking good. How much did your setup cost? Oh, Bohemian, that's a rather interesting question. So to quantify that over time, it's going to be kind of hard. Once we get in there, I'll respond to that. Remind me. Let's do our flight controls check. Okay, we're going to go full back, full down, aileron left, as you guys can see here, aileron right. Oh, accidentally put it in reversers. That's not good. All right, and you can hear the announcements in the back. Since I actually hit the reversers, they thought it was time to go. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get those flaps to 2. Trims are right where they need to be. We are at flaps 2, and let's check indicated and selected, of course. Now we've got to check the ATIS because it's been a hot second since we checked it. Let's just make sure it's still uniform.
Wind 090 9er. Visibility 10. 6,500 scattered. 1,000 scattered. Temperature 22.
Sounds like it.
Juliet, contact Monterey Tower, 118.4.
It changes 3020.
12. Visual approaches and use VFR departures, contact, clearance, livery.
So it's probably Tango.
Altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignment, hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information, Victor.
That's Victor. See there? So it's a good thing we were diligent.
ATIS information, Victor.
Contact 2697 Juliet, Monterey Tower, runway 10 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, 10 right, 972.
Albuquerque ground, Envoy 318, information Victor is ready to taxi.
Envoy 318, Albuquerque ground, runway 8, taxi Alpha.
Runway 8, taxi Alpha, Envoy 318. Alright guys, so there we go. Let's go ahead and make it happen. Alright, we can go ahead and get our nose on and our side on. Nav is on, red beacon is on, and landing gear is on. Let's go ahead and release that parking brake. And of course, we'll be able to do our rudder check. That's one thing that we didn't do, so let me do that for you guys right now. Alright, rudder right and rudder left. Perfect. Go back to the nav. We're going to be easing out over here to the left. And then there's another button over here that you need to push, which is the takeoff OK. Alright, we're not getting any warnings, so we're just assuming that's working. Alright guys, let's roll. So again, flying time today is only about 55 minutes or so. Engines are looking good. Just going to come out over here to the left and head straight to probably Alpha 2. Alright, so hopefully this stream doesn't seem too discombobulated. Got a lot going on. How much did your set cost? Okay, we're going to come back to that. Once we get in the air, actually we can start talking about it while we're taxiing. I guess not a whole lot going on. So probably all together, I mean, if you're including cameras and computer and controllers, I mean, you're probably looking at $4,000 easily. That you know, that's including the computer. So, depending on what kind of computer. I feel like the aircraft is slow to accelerate here for some reason. All right, there we go. I just had to readjust my toe brakes. Yeah, once I get up, okay, one more. Okay, got you. Sorry, I was talking to my wife there. You know, you got to keep the commander-in-chief, the house, happy. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and do this. Let me get my Navigraph back up. So yeah, this is Alpha 2. We're turning right onto Alpha. Told you it's a very short taxi. Alright, we are officially holding short of 8. Set that parking brake, and you guys know what I like to do. I like to go ahead and switch all my frequencies over, so now that's the tower frequency, and we'll take this 1274, and we're going to throw it right over here. Boom. Albuquerque Tower, Envoy 318, holding short, runway 8, ready for departure.
Envoy 318, Albuquerque Tower, runway 8, clear for takeoff.
Runway 8 clear for takeoff, Envoy 318.
64 Juliet.
Alright guys, so without further ado, let us get out of here. I gotta work tomorrow, man. during the portion of the flight, I may end up stepping away for a hot second. I'm gonna prepare a couple of my things here. Alright, so we're coming to the runway, so we know we need landing lights. And we need the strobe, of course. And now we hit the runway. Chronometer starting. Bunch of multitasking here, guys. One gripe I will say is I noticed that this aircraft totally does a thing where it slows down on the turn. Okay, we're lined up. Let's just roll a little bit. Let me check something here on the MCDU index, progress, flight plan, GPS, fix it, Tyler. So, hopefully that's what it is. Alright, guys. Let's do it. Takeoff power is set. Gotta watch those engine gauges, make sure we don't go into the red. Woo! It is pulling hard to the left. I mean, I'm giving it a lot of left rudder just to stay center, so it must be super windy here, man. It's very unusual for me to have a takeoff that rough.
V1.
Woof!
Rotate.
Something is not right here, guys. Alright. We'll clean it up anyway. Alright. Don't forget, we also have to put on that auto throttle. Alright, let's get the aircraft under control here. So that, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know if the active sky was over-exaggerating winds or what, but that's very peculiar for that to happen to me. So I'm just hand flying it right now. Alright, we're just going to follow the needle there. Alright, we'll go to autopilot. Yeah, that was highly peculiar for that to happen. But it happened, so hopefully our landing is better than that. Let's take a look here. Okay, the speed is right where I want it.
64 Juliet, turn left heading 360, descend to maintain 4,000.
We're going to increase that speed to 230 for now.
Envoy 318, contact Albuquerque Departure.
Over to Albuquerque Departure, Envoy 318. Alright, so let's go over to Departure, of course. That was not a great takeoff. I wonder what was going on with that. Oh well, I'm not going to belabor it. Nothing that we did. I noticed my active sky was acting a little funny, so that could be the issue. Albuquerque Departure, Envoy 318 is 8,900. I'm in via SID.
Envoy 318, Albuquerque Departure, radar contact, climb maintain for level 210.
Up to flight level 210, Envoy 318.
64 Juliet, turn left heading 340, join the runway 32 center localizer.
3 left, turn to 340 to join the localizer for 30 center, 64.
Alright, so we were already going up to flight level 210 according to the chart, so...
64 Juliet, make to the left turn heading 300.
Alright guys, so definitely not the best takeoff, not my best work. But there's something else going on. It just got super loose on the runway. You should fly into the Bahamas sometimes in the future streams. Will do, Bohemian. I like the Bahamas. Alright, so at this point we're over 10,000. Let's go ahead and get those landing lights off, of course. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the wind from can't even think of the name. Active Sky. For X-Plane, I had a complete loss of brain function there. My Active Sky, I think, is acting funny because there's an awful lot of wind noise that usually isn't in there. I mean, it does have some type of noise in there that it provides for the winds and things of that nature. I'm just checking it out right now. But, you know, something just doesn't feel right with it. I'm gonna leave it on anyway, but again, it shouldn't even, that wind blowing shouldn't even be that loud, but it is. So we're not gonna worry about it. And of course, in the happiness of always having flight sim problems, my keyboard input stopped working. So the keyboard is now null and void, so maybe that's part of the problem of what was going on. I think I'm diagnosing the problem though. I think I know what it is, to be honest with you. So I'll have to try it for next flight. I'm using basically Albuquerque Center 134.6. We'll see you on way 3. All right, 1346. All right, Bohemian says, how long is the flight time for this route? 55 minutes, sir. Albuquerque Center, Envoy 318 is 15,800, climbing flight level 210.
Envoy 318, Albuquerque Center, coming to level 320.
Up to flight level 320, Envoy 318. All right, going up to flight level 320. And let me get those flight controls out of your way. There we go. Okay, so definitely have done better work, but I'm just gonna soak it up to an entirely long day. I've been up since 0530 on a Saturday morning, early morning reveille. So it's been quite a day. Yeah, the flying time is 55 minutes. In which, if we check the chronometer, 7 of those are already, well, not including the time on the runway, so we'll just say 5. 5 of those are gone, so we're looking at 50 minutes here. Gonna go to the standard pressure. I'm pretty sure it did it on the first officer side, but let's double check, and it did. Altitude is set for 32,000 feet. We have the auto throttles activated. All right. The aircraft is climbing pretty quickly for the simple reason I kept the speed right here. Instead of increasing it to 280 on the climb speed, I just kept it right here so we can have a little bit. Once we get to maybe 21,000 feet, I'll increase it. Aircraft to pitch down. And we're going to do our thing. Let me turn up my ATC. And we're coming in kind of low. And of course, see what we got for tunes. All right, we got some tunes on. Let me know if you guys can hear that or not. Might not be able to with all that active sky wind noise. Like I said, it's overly loud. Now, we can still do a flyby. We just got to do it this way. So let's do us a little flyby here. She's moving. That's for sure. All right, back in we go. Back in we go. We're on our way. You guys let me know how those volumes are treating you. If they're treating you rough, I'll go ahead and adjust them. right, what we got here? What would you... It says, what would you rather, the ATR or the Saab? Oh, that's a good question, Bohemian. I can hear the music. Perfect. Thank you for saying that, Bohemian. So, that's a good question, Bohemian. And I have the Saab 340. I don't have the ATR. So I couldn't even tell you which one of those that I would take. Even though I do enjoy flying the Saab, I think it's S340. How about yourself? Which one do you prefer? Do you fly X-Plane? Do you do videos? Let me know, Bohemian. What you got going on? Might need to check you out. Now, another thing I noticed about this aircraft and the autopilot as far as the auto throttle, on certain settings, like for example, if I were to go put it on the VNAV, then it's going to basically control our pitch via the vertical profile. The aircraft does some really, really weird stuff. I mean, there's definitely some glitches when it comes to the VNAV on this thing. All right, let us check our route. Okay, I'm glad I'm checking the route. Now we're going direct this zone. And then, because remember, there was redundant. So the good thing is that we're checking that. All right. He says, I fly on FSX, but I don't stream as of yet because my PC won't start. Got you. Hey, man. I have totally been there, Bohemian. Trust me. And even with this computer, it's not necessarily a computer sometimes. It'll be an update. It'll be something that goes wrong. I mean, I just barely started being able to stream again myself. I feel like that music's a little loud. Let me get that a little more quieter. Let me know if the music gets too loud, guys, where you can't hear me. We're going to wing this one tonight. That's what we're going to do. It says, I choose the ATR just because how it looks. However, the plane floats a lot. Got what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I have one like that. It's the Fokker. And it's a very floaty plane at the end when you're on approach. So I know what you mean. Again, I haven't flown the ATR, and I did do FSX for a long time. So I can feel your pain. I can definitely feel your pain with that. So yeah. Alright, so we got 32 in there. We're at 29. We're not doing too bad. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start increasing the speed. That slot, boom, boom, boom. So we're not doing too bad. Aircraft's picking up a little bit of speed. So we got zooming in about 80 nautical miles, folks. Once we get to our top of climb, we'll check the progress page and see what it takes for us to get to descent. In case anyone needs to step away and handle your scannel, you can. Okay, we're leveling out. We definitely need to pick up some speed. All right, I just put it in the Mach mode. There we go. We're going to push it up to 7.4 on the Mach. All right. When I fly the ATR, it says I rarely hit the touchdown marker. Well, Bohemian, you know what? I don't fly the ATR that much. I fly a lot of other different aircraft, but I still rarely hit the touchdown marker. I get in the touchdown zone, but hitting those blocks, that's a fine science. There's a few aircraft I'm pretty proficient at it. One is the CRJ and one is the the CRJ 200 and the ERJ 145. I can hit those blocks, believe it or not, in the 747. And the rest I can get close, and it's always in the touchdown zone, if you will. So past the blocks, never before the blocks. And that's pretty much how I roll, you know. It's not a perfect science when you land, especially when you're simming. There's a whole bunch of other factors in there. But let's see what the winds are doing. Let's see what Active Sky has the winds. So the winds are out of the west. So it's directly pretty much at our 12 o'clock here, guys. At 19 knots, 20 knots. So it's not too bad for this elevation. We can take a look at... Okay, it's balancing out, but it was fluctuating up and down to calibrate for, I'm assuming, the headwinds that we're having, which you see right here. Yeah, guys, let's go outside and take a look. Normally I would do this with the keyboard, but yeah. No luck. Perfect opportunity for a screenshot, so we'll take it. All right, business partner just checking in. All right, so for anybody watching, let's go ahead and we're at flight level 320. Let's go ahead and top of descent is only in 46 miles, so this is a pretty quick one. All right, let's go ahead and check out where we're at. All right, so here is our aircraft here, Envoy 318. You can see Phoenix is right here, so it's not far at all. Not at all. All right, let's keep it moving as if we have a choice. At this point, we're just basically looking for radio calls. Now what we can do is start looking at our arrival and calculating what the ATIS is and what we need to do and what runway to expect, of course. We're going to be arriving on the Eagle 6, so we'll take a look and see what that looks like as well, so we have a little bit of time. Here's the Eagle 6. We'll be coming in on Zune here shortly. And then on the Dojo and so on and so forth, we need to be below flight level 330 at 270 knots at Tennis. And then at Peso, we need to be between flight level 300 and flight level 240. Eagle 180. If we're landing on 26, expect ILS localizer 26, approach radar vectors, final course above 4,000 at Jaggle. So here's Jaggle, and there would be 26 right there. So by the time we get to Eagle, we need to know if it's a western landing or an eastern landing. I have a feeling it's going to be a western landing. But without further ado, the ATIS is 27575. Let's see here, 27575. Okay. All right, 27.
Runway 318 descend via the Eagle 6 arrival. Runway 8 transition, Phoenix altimeter 29678.
Send via the Eagle 6 arrival with a runway 8 transition, altimeter 2978 on way 318. All right, so he came in at the right time. So even though we got the ATIS, he just told us where we're arriving. So now so what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait till we get direct to our next turn, and then I'll make sure we get the runway 8 transition in there. So the winds are obviously indicating it for an eastern landing, which is no problem. Let's go here and check the chat really quick. All right, Bohemian says, let's see if we can butter this landing. Yeah, let's see, Bohemian. The way it's going, I don't think we will. But hopefully I'm just being pessimistic. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do something here. It's not going to work. Keyboard's not working, so there goes that out the window. All right, let's get this in here, and then I'll step away for a hot second. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is, you can see this hand down here. You can either push it, but if you go up here, see, there's a way we have to switch this so that we can, let's see, speed, IS. Okay, so it probably is going to follow the FMS. So let's go ahead and go to VNAV mode. So obviously with the VNAV mode, we're already starting our descent. Hopefully that's correct. Let's go ahead and look at the flight plan. Tennis at 33, Peso above flight level 240, below flight level 300. It's peculiar that we started descending already. Very interesting. So it's going to level out at flight level 300, which is fine. Completely fine as long as it doesn't continue its descent. So now we are direct dojo. Okay, let's come in here to our arrival. Okay, before we do this, I got a feeling we should just kind of stay here on the heading mode. So we're doing runway 8. Select the star, of course. Star is the Eagle 6. Transition. Let's see. Is it? Let's see, runway 8 transition. Let's take a look at this. Hopefully we don't get too off kilter here. So our choices are BXX, BXR, Alice. Definitely doesn't look like it should be Alice the way we're going to come in. Let me check the star here really quick. So for runway 8, okay, so for runway 8 from Homer on track 226, Botex, Greeno, Queenie, Heine, then on track to Obase, and expect radar vectors. So, you know, we could just put this one in. No big deal. And the sector approach is going to be that. Star element stored. So now let's go to the MCDU index. Execute. What's up, Jamil? So I think we got it in there. Tiny. Oh, base. Okay, so we did. Now we need to look and see what we're actually direct to, which is tennis. Now we can go back to the nav function, and we're okay. Why it's doing all this craziness, I have no clue. And now the aircraft is actually going to climb. What is going on here? See here. So this thing is very glitched out. Albuquerque Center, 2845, Envoy 318. Alright, 2845. We are just going through it here. 128.450. Might help if I put it on the right side. Alright, let me shut this music off. This is not going as planned today. It's kind of a rough stream, but you have them sometimes. Okay, she's still climbing for whatever reason. I don't know why it's even flight level 330 in there. Let's fix that. All right, there we go. And we're getting ready to contact them. I just am trying to get my life together here, to be honest with you. Albuquerque Center, Envoy 318 is flight level 305 descending via the Eagle 6.
Envoy 318, Albuquerque Center, roger.
Alright, so the good thing is he's not noticing any funny business. That's the good thing. So right now we're direct tennis. Let's go ahead in here and take a look and see what that is. So tennis is below flight level 330, which is fine. And then pesos. Okay, so there we go. So once we get direct peso, I suppose, and I'll hit the VNAV once again. Let me peek in the comments. Alright, let's see if you can butter. So no new comments, which is perfect. Guys, this stream is not the best right now, so you have to bear with me on this one. Alright guys, so it looks like we have our landing set up, so hopefully that will make things easier. I am going to have to step away here for a second, so I'm going to turn the music back on, and I'm going to be monitoring ATC. We'll get better at this. Just a little rusty here. Alright guys, so hang in there, and I'll be right back with you guys in a second, and we'll keep this thing going.
Denver Tower, wind 1009er, runway 17 right, clear for takeoff. 4, connect Denver Center, 127.02.